There is so much to be thankful for. Take a look around and see everything we have within us, everything we want to be. All we need to sustain and keep us arise on time as we prepare. Let us thank God for our blessings and all His precious love we share. There is so much to be thankful for. Take a look around and see everything we have within us, every dream we want to be.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to see you all. Today, we're talking about the theme of the month, which is inclusion in action, in movement, affirmatively doing something. Ernest Holmes says we are for something and against nothing. This is a definition of what affirmative actually means. So the title, interesting title, I guess I won the lottery again. Colorblind or colorful. That is what we're exploring this month. And we invite you to explore this theme of the month along with us, making observations of what is going on in your own life. Now, this topic of color seems to be pretty hot right now. Ever right? Wrong? Right. Absolutely right. Okay. So I was thinking, well, what can I add to the discussion? And I actually recall a time when television was only available in two colors. Right? Some people have heard of that if you didn't live through it as a baby, which I was. It was black or white. Black or white, those were the only two choices. And somewhere around the same time, when we had telephones, we had things like, it was called a party line. And that really wasn't a situation like Zoom when you all get online and have a party. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this shared use of this technology, and an operator connected the calls through what's called a switchboard. Heard about these historic things? Okay, so this is how far back some of these ideas have come. So we had typewriters, and no mobile phones. No mobile phones. No internet. No Google. Somebody goes, what would I do without Google? We actually went to physical libraries to check physical books out. We had no Facebook, but we did have a phone book. Yeah, and they were, again, in two colors. These colors, though, were the white pages for us and our friends and our neighbors, and the yellow pages for businesses. We even had telephone booths. Anybody ever go to a telephone booth? Okay, all right, good. So, but what happened? Are we going to the telephone booth now? No. You know, I didn't realize it was so antique until I went to an open house when Juju was 2, and they were teaching children about historic things of the past, and they had a phone booth right in there. along with Superman, no Wonder Woman. What happened was what Ernest Holmes in the Dictionary of New Thought Terms describes as evolution. Evolution. And Ernest Holmes describes it this way: a gradual unfoldment or development, the progress of a race, which I'm calling the human race, or a species, from a lower form of existence into higher forms of existence. That's the definition from religious science in terms of what that means, evolution. So this Dictionary of New Thought Terms says this evolution is in alignment with the principle of life, which is God. That's what Ernest Holmes, he talks about principle, he's talking about spirit. Some people feel comfortable calling it God, her God, him God. But the principle of life, which is ultimate perfection. This does not imply that there is a stopping point in evolution. And I know somebody said, oh, thank God, this isn't as good as it's going to get. And others maybe are happy. Please don't mess it up, because this is really working for me. It doesn't really matter your point of view, because evolution, its nature, it's the nature of life to forever unfold, to keep changing, to keep growing, no matter what we want it to do. It has its job to do, and it keeps evolving into higher and higher expressions of being. That's really interesting. Higher and higher expressions of being. And it doesn't end. It continues to go, no matter how we try to stop it. Oh, I would never try to stop progress. You can spend your time doing that if you want to, but I'm telling you today, it's going to keep evolving no matter who wants to stand in its way. Now, from the point of view of technology, I think we have evolved. Would you agree? Yeah. We have evolved. But guess what happened? Something called Technicolor came on the scene. Technicolor. And it permeated, not all at once, but eventually television and movies. And this was going on back between 1916 to 1932. This was going on. And people loved color TV and color movies. And it seemed to add value and clarity to our lives because it more accurately reflected our life. Our life. Our colorful, real life. And so we notice things instead of black and white, or black or white. We notice blue skies, white clouds, red roses, green trees. Adding color, or being colorful, better represents what we understand and enjoy in our colorful world. In our colorful world. To some extent, we've even used color as symbols. Green and growing. Red hot deals. Fire. Blue. Cool blue. Or maybe sad blue because you got the blues, because you can't go out because of coronavirus. See what I'm saying? Black, dark, night. Green with envy. Green with envy. So in some cases, we even have said that colors represent emotions. color's just being color, but we're telling it, you agree with it. And everybody in here has heard that before, if not said it. It's not unique to something that I know about. Traffic symbols, or signals are even symbols. Red means what? Stop. Yellow means what? Caution. Slow down. In the case of an automobile, you really are supposed to be slowing down to prepare to stop, where some people put the pedal on the metal as if I just got to hit this light. I know. Green is to what mean go. So we live in a colorful earth, and we are not color blind. Now I have a picture, hopefully I can show you, and it's entitled The Unity Hands. So that's not it. That's not it. It has hands. That's how we'll know if we got to the right one.
There you go.
Okay. Can everybody see those hands? Or you can't? Who cannot see the hands? Okay, so everybody can see the hands. And it's called the Unity. I don't know who sent me this, but I do appreciate whoever did. And what do you see? What do you see? Can't hear you. Color. What color do you see? So we got mocha, we got beige. I remember one person once asked me when the children were little, what color are your grandchildren? I go taupe. So here we are, unity. And it's very symbolic because Ernest Holmes says, as far as unity, unity is not uniformity. You can be united with spirit, and you can have different forms, look different ways. That's the point of this picture. Ernest Holmes says, oneness is not sameness. We're part of a human family. And this picture I think, depicts that in a way that I wouldn't even know how to say. It even shows diversity in nail polish. I'm just saying. We live in a colorful world. We like color, or we like the colors that we like. I'll just put it like that. Colorblind is an interesting phrase. I got some education on it earlier this week from Reverend Stacy, thank God, because I missed some things. You know, we go about our life and we focus on the things that we're interested in, correct? And not the things, that we're not. And it's really important to be a messenger in a time such as this, to have empathy and knowledge about, what's going on, what's going around. Now, there are some ideas about color blindness. And some think, well, I'm just so high in consciousness that I don't see color. Have anybody ever heard anybody say anything like that? You have heard it, see? Reverend Stacy's right. I am getting educated. But the problem with color blind ideologies is that they ignore uniqueness. That it ignores diversity. It colors everything with the same, black or white brush. And we know right now, just from our discussion this morning, that we're so much more than that. So much more than that. So unity with variety. That's what we're talking about in Science of Mind. What is that color blindness? Is that a real thing? Yeah, go ahead. They're not a trick answer. Yeah, there is a real thing called color blindness. Medically. You know that I'm a nurse as well as a minister. And so color blindness is a medical thing. It is, not that we have it, because we don't want to talk about, black or white or people or blue nail polish or whatever it is that I put up there, the diversity. But colorblindness in its true literal sense is an inability or decreased ability to see color or to perceive differences under normal lighting. So someone who is actually colorblind, shades, tones, nuances, they really cannot see it. They really cannot see it. It's called a color vision deficiency. Seeing differences in color is something they're not able to do. So how might that be a problem? It might be a problem reading one of those traffic lights. Especially because one of the problems people that have this visual difficulty have is determining the difference between red and green. Stop and go. See how that colorblindness could actually be a problem? Another combination where people that are technically colorblind is be able to see blue versus yellow. Blue versus yellow. Now, if you're really colorblind, you already know it. But many people don't know that that is a thing that really does exist. But in this sense that we're talking about today, colorblind or colorful, I need to mention colorblindness contributes to racism. It's a threat to justice and equality. It ignores uniqueness and devalues diversity, which we all are part of. It is actually our birthright. Each person is a unique expression of God. Created. Ernest Holmes, when he gave the Beverly Hill lectures in 1952, of which I did not attend. He said each person is created with sacred worth and divine potential. Sacred worth and divine potential. A lot of times we don't really know that. We have many classes where we're asked the question to reveal the self to the self of what is our purpose. And any day or several times a day, somebody's likely to say, we're in unprecedented times. Have anybody heard that? So what'd you say? You haven't heard about that? Okay. All right. All right. A little bit. But I'm just wondering if that's even true. Is that even true? And what do we really mean? If you say it, and you say it, and you say it, and you say it, and you say it, are we even talking about the same thing? So I suggest, why don't you just say what you mean? Good. You could. You wouldn't have to have an interpreter. You wouldn't have to go to a class. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to believe you, but at the very least, you've got to believe yourself. Tell the truth to yourself. What is it that concerns you? Oh, I must say what that concerns me. I'd rather be popular. I'd rather be invited to the Zoom party. Understandable, right? Because people are social, some of us, more than others, and want to fit in with the crowd. That's how fashion fads are starting. Some you may like, some you may wear, some you don't understand, like all the holes in the jeans. Because I want to be an individual who dresses like everybody else. I want to show you the last picture, and thank God I have pictures just because Reverend Cheryl. Because remember, people that were born, you know, in black and white TV haven't maybe mastered all the different nuances of getting pictures of. So I have one, and it's of people. Just people. Now, a few minutes ago, we sang, "You are the face of God." So I'm wondering, is that what you're seeing when you look at this picture, the face of God? Just answer it to yourself. I don't need to know. Actually, I probably could guess. Some yes, some not so much. So I could say, hey, that's just a picture of people going for a walk with some of their friends. I could say that. I don't know if you think that's correct or not, but I could say it. And some people would see it that way. Other people see it full of color, every representation of America, gay or straight, black or white, everything in between. I even heard this morning that there's been a new name, at least it's new to me, another box that my grandchildren could fit into. But it's very long, and so they made some, you know, how we do, letters. Some letters. And if you know what those letters mean, well, then that's communication. If you don't, you go, what? Should I be offended or communicated with? So here we have people. Here's someone sitting in a wheelchair. She's out there. You have every age, every skin color, every race, which I always hate that word because to me it's so limiting and inaccurate. In my view, there's one race, it's called human, the human race. Now, if you're a race car driver, I understand that race. But by your birthright, you're the human race. No matter, you know, how mean you are. There'd be no mean people here. What are you talking about? Loving and kind. You go, hey, really, that's not, some people say, hey, these are Americans, and they're making their voices known to their government, you know, the one, of the people, by the people, for the people. You heard of that one? Yeah. So that's what the people look like. And other people go, oh no, that's just my Uncle John Lewis out there. So in this closing affirmation, please affirm the nature of God's great creation. The nature of God's great creation is one of diversity.
Is one of diversity.
Now, really, this is what was offered, but I have to just squeeze a little bit of me in here. Not perversity. Can you see? Those are not the same words. They're not. You get to choose what you think fits, but I am here now for 5 minutes or less. And God's great creation of diversity. Different people have different knowledge And it is their divine purpose, whether they use that language or not, to bring their gifts for humanity, for the family, the human family that of which we are all a part. I am not colorblind. That's what the affirmation says. I see the colorful, wonderful, and mystical variances that are expressed uniquely as each of us, as each of us. And I'm so grateful, very grateful, to be here with you this morning to challenge each one here as I challenge myself to rise up to be all that you are intended to be. You represent your ideas, your love, hopefully a good reflection of what we teach here in life. For whatever reason, I know that we are called to this moment. We are called. How do I know we'd be someplace else? It's sort of easy when you break it down, isn't it? It's not really that mystical. Your work's not done. Or did you and me here? So I think maybe we haven't thought about our sacred mission. Some have, some haven't. But I was saying, I really can't remember one of the thousands of classes that I went to, of which at the end, during, we were called to name our divine purpose, our mission. And so for me, the word service came up all those years ago. And I said, yeah, that really does seem to fit for me. The thing that was interesting about it was as soon as I actively became in alignment with which my purpose was, still is, decision making got so much easier, got so simpler. And I use that criteria, my life purpose, my vision, for deciding where I would work. If my purpose is service, do I get to serve in this job? Nope, not my job. See what I'm talking about? I'm part of a community of people that serve. If that's not what they're doing, they're not my community. They get to do what they want to do, but they're not my people. So life becomes a lot easier when you reveal the self to the self and tell yourself the truth. You're here for purpose, God's purpose. The form that you're in, whether you're in the wheelchair or you're the marathon runner, it suits your purpose. Trust me on this. And then talk to me about it as this is revealed to you. Thanks for being here this morning. So let's turn within for our parting benediction. Recognizing that each and every individual here, each and every individual that hears the sound of my voice is one with the presence, the power, the creativity, the love that created the whole world. And put each of us in it, not by accident, but for a time such as this. Now is the time for people of goodwill, for people of good spirit, for people with abundance of love are being called to step up. Yes, to pray, but to also move forward for the good of our families, for the good of our cultures, for the good of our planet, for the good of each other. If not, the loving people, the spiritual people, the praying people, then who? And so I know that there is no accident, no matter what it looks like. Ernest Holmes in 1952 did give a lecture, as he used to do in Beverly Hills, as he used to do in homes. And he said that we are here on a sacred journey to reveal more life, more love, more peace, more joy, more happiness, more safety, more protection. And so that very area that might be bugging you sometime, there's an opportunity to hear it differently. There's an opportunity to listen as it calls you. And for whatever reason, I know that that call is for you. As you stand with the divine nature that lives and moves and has its being. This deep realization is already true. It's already so. That person that was waiting for the right time, this is the time. That person that was waiting for that money, it's already there. It is always time for divine idea. And the ways and the means to bring that forth are already known in the mind of God and in the body of God. And so I am calling for and accepting this great spiritual awakening to the divinity that is the truth in the very heart and soul of God. And this is the place that we live and move and have our being. And so I release this benediction knowing that we're blessed now. We're blessed in the root home. We're blessed in the days that are to come. The path is already known. The vision is already revealed. God says yes. Just waiting on you. And so I just let go and know that it is already so. And the highest and best is now being revealed. As humankind awakens to a deeper level of living and loving and serving and being. And for this, I'm so grateful. I'm thankful for our ministers. I'm thankful for our musicians. I'm thankful for each person here and each person that is viewing from wherever really. There's only one of us anyway, and we live and move and have our being in pure spirit. And there is nothing God cannot do. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. I would like to remind those that are here, there are with social distancing, a few practitioners here, if you would like to have a 1-minute miracle. If you would repeat after me, something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in